Michael Multary. What's up, man?
What's up, Justin?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. I was just here about an hour ago doing my lesson, but I'm back anyway.
Yeah, and how was that lesson?
It wasn't really a lesson, but it was us recording my backup vocals, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
For Fireflies by Owl City.
Yeah. And we actually experiencing a recording experience with that, which is something new for you, I understand.
It's not really new. Definitely not new, because I just shared with you the what I did about 8 years ago, 9 years ago, right? 8 years ago. 8 years ago, I just sent it to you over the weekend.
That's right, yeah.
I back when I had a computer, because I don't even own a computer anymore right now. But I did back then Jingle Bell Rock, nice audio recording.
That's right. Yeah.
So.
But you've been just kind of stacking the recordings as you've been going. That's what's cool about it. Because you and me are on Instagram, so it's like you'll send me like one recording and some old stuff too, even way back when.
Yeah.
And then you'll just take the challenges that we go through the weeks with, and you'll just take them into some new recordings.
Yeah.
So you're getting to that experience.
Yeah, but I enjoy. I actually enjoy hearing my own voice and being able to like analyze my own voice and know when I have a mistake, when I hit it perfectly, all that good stuff. So I enjoy analyzing myself pretty much, Yeah. It's to the point too when I for that one app, it's called Smule, when you do duets with other people. And I'm like making sure, hey, do I got a good person I'm duetting with here? Because I want it, obviously I want it to sound good.
That's like the most nervous part about it. You're like, oh my gosh, I hope this person works for me.
Yeah. So
it's interesting though, and you get to go in the studio and actually experience what the vocal booth is, and you get such a clarity out of your voice.
That's amazing.
But it's also nerve-wracking because you hear yourself back and you're like, oh my gosh, that's how I sound.
So not for other people.
That's how I started. I hated my voice for a while when I first started.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to kind of start that way and just critique. But it's such a refreshing thing to hear that you can just take your voice and be like, that's me, and be used to it. Because not everybody's like that. Most people are usually the opposite.
Because I'm older and more mature.
There you go. It could be that.
Again, I don't know. I've again, just in terms of singing, if it is something that I have naturally or whatever it is, it's enjoyable to me.
Yeah.
It's an escapism. This is an escapism. Coming here, an escapism for me.
Yeah.
I'm going off on a tangent at this point, but you're amazing.
Thanks, man.
Ever since my second lesson, I would say I noticed a difference. I noticed definitely just everything better, really.
Right on, man.
Right after the second lesson. The atmosphere here is, again, amazing. This is the best word to really use.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, Mike. I appreciate, everyone that does work here that I get to communicate with at this point.
Yeah.
So,
right on. That's
what
awesome
you got here, Mike, is keep it going. Keep it going. You're going to have a lot of people here that will be happy. Your workers, your students, everything, Mike. I'm being honest. So.
You got a great team?
Yeah. Great people that we get to be around all the time.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, funny enough, we went to high school together, but we never got to actually to meet each other.
We went to the same high school.
Same class. Same friends.
Same class. 2009 we graduated.
Yeah.
So you can do the math and figure out how old we are. Or how young, depending how you perspective that one. Yeah, we didn't know each other. Yeah. I didn't know you.
That's so funny, though. Yeah.
I knew Anthony. Anthony said he was going to be in here, but I don't know where he is.
No, that's all right. Yeah, I guess, I don't know, I stuck below the radar, that's why.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I was, too. I wasn't one that was out there, whatever,
Yeah. Now, let me ask you, when you were in high school, what was the music that we're doing now, some of the influences you grew up with, too?
Yeah, we'll say that, absolutely. Especially Linkin Park, definitely is my favorite band. I definitely...
his voice has been so killer, especially for you, because I can hear the influence on how you do a lot of his reaches, a lot of the actual arpeggios and vibratos.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
You can hear a lot of those influences in people like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, because from what I learned about singing, it's pretty much just imitating. Mm-hmm. Learning how to imitate, the good singers' voices.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's how I've learned. I'm like, recently learned about that. But anyway, I'm like,
And we all
that
start
makes
that
sense.
way,
Sure.
you know. So a lot of us start in places where like I just wish I could sing like him or sound like him or her.
Just practice.
And it's just and we learn. You know what's funny is that I learned the wrong way that way. But at the end of the day, you learn from your failures that way too. But at the end of the day, also when I hear you, I'm just like, wow, I can actually hear that progress from where we started too.
Okay.
And because you're taking, let's say, that Linkin Park tone,
Sure.
that sound, and you've reshaped it with all the techniques now to a whole nother level. So we could talk about that more, but man, I love the vibe that is coming out more because a lot of it is psychological. Remember, I say that all the time, right? So we'll go through all these psychological places that are walls, and we'll think like, I'm not sure if I can hit that, and then eventually just getting over a lot of those little tricks. So that's the hardest part.
I appreciate that because it's like, you know, obviously you're going to be your own worst critic, right?
Sure.
And I think in terms of like the confidence, it's just when you start having the different people come to you and be like, hey, you did awesome. You sang great. You did that, you know? So you see it all the time, like say on American Idol or American Got Talent. They'll go up on their first audition or whatever. And it's like, I was that good? You know? Because, you know, you may think, like I think I sound good.
Right.
But what do other people think?
Yeah, that's true.
That's what the psychology is on that, I would definitely say.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. I mean, we look at ourselves in the mirror every day, so it's like we can see like, oh man, I got this pimple here, I got this hair over here.
I think what made me definitely go forward with, in general, just going into singing lessons. One time, this was before COVID times here, back when karaokeing, we can still do all that.
Oh yeah.
I think I was at the Arc in Point Pleasant. I wasn't with my family at that time. I was just with myself and a friend. And I did Fireflies. We just mentioned that. I did Fireflies. And after I was done going to the restroom, waiting in line, and a gentleman approached me, say, hey, man, you did really good. Whatever he said exactly, you did really good and stuff like that. I was like, oh, thank you. You know, that was like my first time someone, I guess, out of my friendship zone or my family zone, like a random person. Hey, you did good. Okay, I'm gonna excel with this.
Yeah, you've mentioned that before, actually.
Yes,
and when you mentioned that, because I've heard that a couple times from you, and is that, do you think like that defining moment where you wanted to take it and just move forward with
Absolutely.
it? You know,
That absolutely did it.
Yeah.
That
Sometimes you need that outside
gratification, the gratification, the gratification, definitely the noticeability. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the words at that point.
Sure.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
Just the approach, just like, hey.
Somebody recognizing it.
Almost like, hey, can I get your autograph kind of thing. But
Yeah.
it wasn't like that, obviously. It wasn't that depth. It wasn't, we're not there yet. But that's the similarity I took that as.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And that's all that hard work that leads up to it, too.
Yeah.
You're just like, wow, actually, maybe I should do something with this. You know,
Yeah.
that's the hardest thing, like to actually make a decision to go forward with it, too, and making that leap.
Yeah.
But either way, man, it's still awesome to see that progress and going from it. And now we're working with our head voice and seeing where head voice takes us, working with all these different aspects, how we move through the two voices, everything. So it's cool to see that kind of progress in my students. I always feel a lot of that kind of gratitude as well, knowing that you can see it and see that just transform in everybody. So at the end of the day, man, I'm loving it. I'm loving the vibe you're giving me.
Awesome.
So, yeah, it's, again, like you mentioned, it's the vibe that we have here as a family here,
Yeah.
too, you know, and how we can treat each other, how everybody learns from each other. That's the fun of it. So, all right, man. So, let me ask you here. When you first started getting into, like, let's say Linkin Park, going all into this other stuff, have you ever thought about getting into, like, different genres or, like let's say outside of your comfort zone kind of thing?
Well, no, but I will say, you know, the songs you've introduced me to, say Like a Stone by, Cornell Audio Slave.
Yeah.
What was the other one? You Found Me by Frey.
Yeah.
You know, there's other songs too you've introduced me to. And I think because you introduced me to those songs and then you worked with me with those songs without me knowing them, I've noticed my difference.
Yeah.
I've noticed my difference between me self-learning a song and going through it with my own ways compared to singing with you and learning, with you at that point.
Sure.
You know? So What was the question again?
So like we have explaining the idea of like the comfort zone, because
Right.
the one thing that a lot of the students I have, and even for myself, you know, we kind of look at music and we're like, okay, like how can I take this to another level, even stuff that I don't like, because especially since I teach, there's things that I'm obviously going to run into that I don't like.
Right.
Right. And it's funny that when you challenge yourself to those degrees, have you ever tried to go into that place where you're like, you know what, I'm not sure about this, or I don't even know if I could do that. I'm not even sure if I like that.
I think for the songs that I listen to and the stuff that I listen to, either before, maybe during my time with you, right? Songs that we have not discussed yet. Starset being the band that I'm thinking of, where it gets to a point and it's myself challenging myself at that point with those songs. With the one in particular I'm thinking of, it's called Telekinetic. The opening verse is it's pretty good. I like it personally, vocal wise, and the way it gets.
Starset, you said?
Starset is the band.
Nah, I never heard that.
They're the ones that did My Demons.
That sounds super familiar.
Sickness taking over.
Remember, I listen to like 40 songs a day, so it's all one ear out the other. So if you show it to me,
that's their best song that came out. Dropped your phone again.
No,
right?
it's actually my pen, so it's okay. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff under here. It's just hiding under here, you know.
So that band, I'll just after with Chester dying from Linkin Park, Chester Bennington.
Yeah.
Needing to branch out to go into other bands, really, for myself.
Sure.
That was one of the bands, and then also who does Addicted and Perfect? Drawn Up by Simple Plan.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
So,
yeah. That's right. You did mention Simple Plan. I do remember.
So those
that.
two bands for sure, I branched out to where, listening to a lot of their stuff and also just loving their stuff too. Because there's some, especially Starset, there's some little similarities. I get the vibe in terms of the lyrics.
Sure.
With the dark stuff that Linkin Park has.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Linkin Park does have a really dark flow sometimes.
Yeah. That's
okay, though. And it was funny, I kind of felt the same thing with Red Jumpsuit Apparatus when we did that one as well. A little bit as it kind of branched out.
Sure.
But remember, we found our head voice in that one.
Sure.
And going through those moments of transition. And that was a tough one, going on a high, it was a high A, I think. And being able to hit that with full power and a full mixed voice, which is a huge, huge thing.
Don't ask me to do it right now.
And the show.
Gotta work on it still. We definitely do. Definitely gotta work on it still.
Yeah, yeah. It's all those little steps that go into it, And it's
amazing.
amazing.
This is why you're amazing.
You're amazing at it, dude. Because there's so many different spots to remember. And a lot of it has to be kind of second nature as we go through that. So that's why I say, like, it's bit by bit and then kind of making that subconscious.
Yeah.
And just honestly, it goes down to relaxation at the end of the day, too.
Absolutely.
And being able to, like, all right, I'm just going to let it kind of just flow out.
Absolutely.
Because it's amazing how much range, even as us guys have, We have that, right? We can go all the way up there if we want, or all the way down there if we want. We just don't realize what we can or can't do.
The low end I got. The low end I got. Don't worry about the low end.
You know what's funny? I actually
We've never worked with low end, but...
Well, that's what I was going to bring
Okay.
up. I was thinking about one day doing Frank Sinatra. And doing like
well,
a Fly to the Moon.
Frank Sinatra's great, but no. If I get to show this to my one friend, he's got a username basically from my stocks. I know you want to talk about stocks a little bit, but he asked me to do Dean Martin.
Yeah.
So that's in the somewhat same.
We're in Dean Martin's season, if I recall. He has his Let It Snow record coming out. Yeah, he also... Well, you know what? That might be not... My seat's just getting lower for some reason. He might not be a bad idea, actually, now I'm thinking about it. Because you really do have, again, the whole chest voice aspect that we've been working on.
Yeah.
He has a much more rounder tone.
Okay.
Which is something where we can learn more about openness and how we go into the back soft palette more. So a lot of those old singers from back then, so if we're talking 50s and that kind of era, a lot of the singing was based back there.
Yeah, okay.
And based on the soft palette. More back here, right? And more modern vocals now is more up front, as we've been experiencing.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
it's more of the blend now of, okay, placement, where am I putting it, right? So that's a whole
Yeah,
other
so
era.
Dean Martin, Ain't That a Kick in the Head was the one that he was asking me to do. And I was like, I know it. I'd
Yeah.
have to learn the lyrics. Definitely fine tune with the melody, right? Melody is the word?
Yeah.
Okay,
That was the
so
word. Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting.
That I can work with them, that one.
Yeah. So you brought it up, so I got to ask.
Sure.
Because we've been so on music now. So like, are there other things? Because I actually get to talk to you about this outside of the lesson, or in the lesson, I should say. So what kind of things you into outside of outside of this, outside of music?
My, you could say my avid life of, I'm a really good bowler. Not just trying to say that, be egotistical.
You never brought that up. You bowl?
I'm a bowler. I never brought that up to you,
No,
really?
you never brought
No?
it up to me. No.
No, my family's all bowlers.
Oh, what? Oh, that's awesome.
I have one 300 underneath my belt.
Will we say it again?
I have a 300 underneath my belt.
Whew. Okay.
That happened in May of 2012.
For the record,
So-
I think I got a 50 or a 75 under my belt. That's about all I got.
Come on, I can get you to 100. Look, listen. My one friend Nick, maybe about a month or two ago, we were bowling a few times, right?
Yeah.
And we used to bowl a long time ago, like going out, whatever, a couple times.
Sure.
So we bowled 2 weeks. So he bowled 3 games. Then the third week, we wound up doing a fourth game within that third week. And because the third game, I finally stepped in because I wanted him to get used to his little way of wanting to bowl.
Sure.
Okay. So then I stepped in and I'm like, hey, do a little trick with your arm. Go like that, right? With the ball in your hand. Don't let it go. Go like that and do it a couple times, right? And what that does is align your shoulder up to where you want to throw the ball.
What?
Yes. So you go like this. right?
Really?
You push away with the ball.
So you're just
swing,
lining it up just every time.
and you just do it a couple
have
times.
couple
just
lineups.
just 2 times. You can do it another time
Does
too.
it have to line up with
my
your
coach,
shoulder?
My coach Bilello, my bowling coach Anthony Bilello, he loves me.
What? Wow.
And I love him too.
Dude, that's awesome. I had no
and
idea.
sure enough, he was shooting 60s and 70s all the time, right? I think that last game he wound up shooting a 120.
Wow.
From a 180, from a 70 or 80 average of all the other games. Throws that one game
Just from this.
from
Just-
doing
just
this
from
and
that.
lining your shoulder up, and he throws a 120.
Okay.
So that's a
Okay.
big, in bowling,
Yeah.
that's a big jump.
That's a huge jump.
That's
I
a
can imagine.
big jump, yes.
Dude.
Yes.
I might have to go to if COVID wasn't happening, I definitely would go to bowling. And now I
Still
want to try
bowl.
it. You can? Okay.
You got to have your mask up at all times, though.
All right.
It depends on where you go.
Yeah.
Actually. I'm not going to name names of any bowling alley that some places, apparently, when you go up on the lanes,
The place
they
in our,
allow
the
it.
place in our hometown, though. That place is all right?
That's 100%. They comply with everything.
Okay.
And
cool with
I'm
that.
okay with it. So,
All right. That's
yes,
good to know.
Yes.
I got to try that now. I'm really tempted to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
No
date-
bumpers would
I
be
dated
needed.
this girl
No
who
bumpers,
hated it,
yeah.
so I can never go.
No bumpers needed it
All right.
for him, too. So.
Yeah, for me.
But yeah, like I
could
said,
do
yeah,
bumpers.
I have one 300 underneath my belt. That happened 8 years ago. Going to be 9 years, and one of my proudest moments of my life. I actually never had where prior to that was like a 299, 298, whatever. You know, that's a 300 is the score number.
Right.
Like I said, and sure enough, I got a ring. I don't have it on me now, but they give you a 300 ring.
Dude, bring the ring next time.
You want to see it?
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah.
find it though.
Yeah, you gotta bring it in.
I gotta find it now in my my current situation.
Is like one of those big Super Bowl rings, like one of them?
Yeah, kind of actually.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's
so I
cool.
have that. I have a plaque, and at the time I was given $100 from the bowling house,
Oh, right on, dude.
of which at that time went to my brother for his graduation.
Oh, right on.
So
man.
perfect timing.
That's so nice,
yes.
dude. That's so cool. All right.
So-
I had no idea all this time. I feel like
Yeah, so bowling-
I feel like you've never told me, but maybe
I don't
you
think
have.
I
but-
might have.
Oh man, that's so.
So
funny.
that's one thing.
Yeah.
I know briefly we talked about chess.
Yes.
I'm a chess player.
Yeah. I got to get back into that too. You're into all the things I wish I could do. Yeah, chess
I
is
got all the
fun.
time in the
Chess is
world.
fun, man.
I got all the time in the
Yeah,
world, though.
yeah. Oh my gosh, because I just love thinking ahead like that. It's just so part of my memory.
Well, this is
and my
why, like,
mind.
when I play my Xbox games, if I'm not playing chess, I'm playing the roguelike games,
Okay.
which are anything logical.
Right.
The roguelike games, like if anyone were to hear this and they know about the games called The Binding of Isaac, or the one I've been playing lately is called Slay the Spire.
Sure.
Roguelike games are pretty much every run you do. You beat the game, you could beat your run,
Right.
but then you start over every time. If you die or you get to your one of your final bosses, whatever, and you start all over, and you have so many different items that all synergize or can whatever, and you can just have where
So those combinations can just take you.
you
into
can
all these
have
different
where
places.
you can have godlike runs pretty much
Yeah.
to where you shoot one time and everyone dies in 1 second if you fill up the whole room up with or
What
you
is
can
this,
have
roguelike?
roguelike.
Yeah,
That's
roguelike.
the roguelike. And the
Roguelike.
one game like The Binding of Isaac in particular.
Yeah.
Actually, when did I just 1,000,000% that game? It's 100%ing the game, but in their achievement list it's called 1,000,000%ing the game.
Interesting.
Because there's just so much in the game that if I were to tell you the amount of hours pretty much put into that game, I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you how many hours technically of gameplay wise that were put into that game.
That's crazy, dude.
In each run in particular, if they go long enough, if you go all the way to the final boss, you do whatever, there's times you're playing a run for 50 minutes.
Yeah. That's crazy,
So-
man. I know we could talk about that too for hours if we wanted to.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned stocks too.
Stocks.
And you're doing to that because you bring that up a lot when you're with me. So
Stocks.
that's the one thing you do bring up. Like, hey, I
Hey
got this
man,
penny stock.
you got
I
to make
found.
money somehow. In
That's
this,
true. That is true.
Without, sure, I'm working too, but
What got you into that?
what got me into stocks, I've actually always wanted to get into stocks ever since I was younger, even before I was 18, before
Yeah.
anyone could touch stocks with actual money. My family would tell you right now, either I should have been a meteorologist or someone involved with stocks for a
Like a
career
broker?
choice.
Yeah.
No joke.
That's awesome.
My
Just
my
be a
father's side
trader.
of my family will tell you that right now.
Yeah, but you're already trading, so you're already there. It's almost.
It's only been a year.
yeah.
February before COVID hit, that's when I
That's
started.
nothing. Yeah, you still got so much ahead of you.
And I'm not gonna say a number in terms of dollar value, but I believe right now, without looking at my phone, I'm over 250% for the year.
That's awesome, dude. That's so impressive.
At one time, I was over 800%.
And just one. Oh my gosh.
Not even a year at that point. That was in July.
That's so impressive.
So that was
man.
February into March, April, June, May. I'm sorry. I can't do months. February to March,
then
April, May, June. So in
July.
6 months, at one point, I was up over 800% from my portfolio.
Oh my
No
gosh.
kidding.
Right on, man. Remember in high school, Mr. Damalik, this guy did.
don't know that
Yeah,
name.
he was a history teacher, but he also taught stocks.
No, I didn't know.
Just
that.
like extracurricular, as it wasn't actually meaning
love
anything. But we had a guy in class who picked like when Netflix was still starting out,
Forget it.
and he just picked it out of nowhere. Like, that seems like a good company. And I remember that's when Netflix just was blowing up, and it's just interesting. That's when
So
like
you're talking 10 years? No, wow.
junior year for me would have been
So
you and me
2008.
2008. Yeah, 2008, 2000,
12,
yeah, 2007, 2008, something like that. Yeah, sounds like a lifetime ago, but yeah, something about that. Yeah, craziness, man. Well, listen, I like to end it this way. And what's like the one thing, since Thanksgiving is coming up?
Yeah.
What's the one thing you would say this year you could say like you're the most grateful for, the most thankful for?
I am thankful for. Such a child question, really. No, I am thankful for. Damn, there's too many to say.
Say them all, it's okay.
I'm definitely thankful for Rockoutloud.
I'm
I
thankful
really-
for Rock Out Loud.
I am. I am. I'm thankful for that. I am thankful for my boss, Steve.
Yeah.
He'll see this one day.
Few people would say they're boss. That's pretty impressive.
No, I
gotta
am.
say.
I am.
That's awesome.
I really am, because only with recent stuff happening, I'm definitely thankful for him for that. But I've also been thankful because I've known him for the 3.5 years that I've worked at Domino's.
Yeah.
And not my direct general manager at the time in the beginning, but there's too many different times where he's helped me out. And the appreciation that I get out of him, not only as a worker, but as a friend.
Yeah.
And I'm a little getting emotional here. I'll never forget one time coming out of a hospital for a visit, and I came back the first day, not to work, but just to walk into the door.
Yeah.
And he was working behind the oven, and he knows he won't forget this too. He stops what he's doing. He's literally cutting a pizza. Stops in the middle of cutting the pizza, jumps into my arms and hugs me. With one of the biggest, tightest hugs I've ever received.
Dude.
You know.
That means everything, especially that. Because that was
literally
extremely
pizza was
scary
coming out of the
time.
oven. I'm sorry. Literally pizza was coming out of the oven, and I think a pizza fell on the floor too. He's like, I don't care.
Wow.
Mike, I don't care. Just to see you, that you're okay.
Yeah.
At that time.
Yeah. That's not a boss, man. It's a friend. Yeah. For real.
He knows that moment. He'll see this and.
Yeah.
So sorry.
No, it's okay. It's all right, man. That's huge. I mean, out of all things, I mean, I don't know many people that can say something like that.
So I'm grateful for those things for sure. I'm grateful for my family. I love them. I love them too.
Yeah.
You know.
Right on, man.
You know, the support is pretty good. So.
Right on, man. Well, Mike, this has been an ultimate pleasure.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
I will be seeing you soon.
Absolutely.
Be working on some of the new songs we have in plan and in
Yeah.
store. Get you back in the studio as usual now.
Yeah, all right.
Making it a regular thing. I'm stoked, man.
All right.
So, as part of the Rock Out Loud family, we appreciate you, and we're really thankful for you too.
All right.
My man. You're good.
Ah.